Good evening, YouTube. This is Kayleen Stern coming at you with my regular Sunday night meal. And as I said last week, that I would be going back into the big Russian box. So I decided to go ahead and just pull some items that I thought would be fun to pair together. Since there were 4 of these types of containers that I would call the main entrees, instead of the usual 3, I suppose for one meal, a Russian soldier would eat 2 of these together. For meals of them, I chose some items from my stash. There are only 2 drink powders, cold drink powders in the box. So one of the 2 green ones that look like the familiar Russian yellow camel ones, but in green. So the first meal, and I chose to save the other one. So I just reached into my stash and I got out some extra items. I got her. Let's see, Pete and James are in the house. Chris, and just checking to see who all's here. So thank you all for dropping in. So what I have here is this sliced pear. This to me, and some from the mystery box I got from foreignamory.com. And then some I had that dry marching or hiking ration. I opened it and I decided to pull some items from that for completing these meals. So again, these are all vegetarian. And speaking of foreign MRE, look who just dropped that super chat. Again, thanks for that, for sending me that that surprise in the mystery box, the $50 one. I mean, I was absolutely floored. I was almost speechless. that was just awesome. So even just having all those goodies in there was enough of a prize. I love those mystery boxes, and I will continue to get them whenever I have a chance to. So anyway, I'm going to have this. It looks like almost like a vegetable stew, but I'm going to have a little fun with it. These are Russian instant potatoes, and I add the milk powder to the potatoes to make it, just to add a little extra flavor. Because some people will add milk to their instant potatoes, or when they're making mashed potatoes, they're mashing their parboiled potatoes and then add a little milk to it to make it a little creamier. So, but I love these Russian instant potatoes. So I have a bowl here that I will be putting that in. I just have a bag off to the side that I'm going to be tossing my trash in. And I pulled one of the Russian teas. I love this Russian tea. This is my favorite Ration tea, so that will go in the foreignamory.com mug. This Russian fruit bar. I love these fruit bars. And some of pieces of these crackers to put some jam on, so I got a strawberry jam. This is an American strawberry jam. And then my cold drink is going to go into my Minotaur glass mug. Some call it a beer mug, some call it a root beer mug. But because these call for 500 mils of water, I decided to go for this big thing. And I got a longer spoon for mixing that. In fact, that's what I'll do first. This is a Tutti Frutti one. Because it just it sticks to the inside of the mug even though it's dry. There is yep, Art will have to answer that question about codes, but if there are any of the mystery boxes left, I would definitely suggest getting one because you can put all kinds of goodies in there. You never know what they're gonna So there is the Tutti Frutti drink all mixed up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my into here. I add a little bit of sugar to my tea. I'm kind of weird that way. I will drink tea with sugar and cold tea without. So there is a tea in the mug. Now the instant potato packet doesn't have a tear notch, so I'll just cut it across. This is what the milk powder looks like. I don't know if Russians would do this with their instant potatoes, but this is what I've done before. And when I made, I used some of these Russian instant potatoes in a potato mix that I created for the Country Prepper Memorial Camp last March. I had a couple of these instant milk packets, and I put those in. I'm just moving all these other things aside. So here I have the potato. And what I will do, I'm going to go send the hot water to pour into the tea mug, and potato and add potatoes. So I'll be right back. I just put something over. I'm just going to slide it back this way so it's. There is James Ortiz in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Just stirring the tea. And I'll let the bag sit in there. I'm going to go ahead and open up the fruit bar. This wrapper didn't want to cooperate, but a little persuasion. Really soft. Really shiny. Has a bit of an oily texture to it, so I'm going to put that right there. I really like them. They're they're definitely plum based, but there's a bit. So there's a fruit that's in. See, there's a plum and fig that is definitely not a date. There may be others in there. I don't even bother trying to translate this. I have the worst time with the Google Translate. So I don't even bother. I decided to have some Canadians. And these are notorious for having a lot of juice in them. I'll drain off some of the juice in that spot. There we go. That is the Canadian pears. I'm gonna open up the strawberry jam. Here's a nice size piece of cracker. It's a little dark. Looks kind of brown. I'm gonna check the chat. I've been looking at the chat for the past minute. Yeah, this is probably a few years old. $2216 might not focus. Might not be able to see that, but it's 22. So I'm guessing 2012. It's fine. It doesn't. So I will definitely be finishing this off. These Russian crackers are a little. See, you can see what they look like on the inside. Maybe if it'll, they're kind of tough like the Polish ones, but without the caraway. I do like those Polish ones. I love that caraway flavor in them. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any graham crackers. I'm sorry. I haven't bought any crackers. Crackers was last year. This time I just took Hershey bars and halal marshmallows. Bar. It's really dark, so it's hard to tell. But I can definitely pick up some bits of fruit. Like I said, I really like these bars. Thanks for dropping in. Pete, you can always catch the replay later. I'm going to grab a piece of this, it's a Canadian pear. These are a little bit soft, but they're just like any typical canned pear that you would get here. Worried sick about, I hope it's nothing too bad. Chris, don't want you to get over too much, because that can affect your health. See, I'm going to go ahead and pull this tea bag. And yes, I'm a tea bag squeezer. Because to me, what's left in any liquid left in the tea bag, you throw that away, that's wasting. I do like this Russian tea. I wish I could get more of it. Oh yeah, if there's a way that you can check up on that person, might be a good idea. I'm just reaching back to give my cold drink another stir. I just grabbed a teaspoon from my kitchen because it's a lot longer than my foreign emery's fork. I think the main should be done, so I'm actually going to uncover the potatoes. This is what the potato looks like. I'm going to go ahead and I do have my kettle here, so if I need to add a little bit more water to it, I can. But I'm going to go ahead and give a little taste of it right now. Yep, I think I might add just a little bit more water. Just so that it doesn't completely dry out. And because there's bits of onion and garlic in here, that could use a little bit more rehydrating, so. And I'll just put the bulb, that back on top, and then I will go get the main and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Just drying this off. Get that. Just a pan from my cookware set that I actually had since college. There we go. Up, I see beans. Well, this is definitely different than what was on the label. This just looks like beans. This is what I thought I was gonna get. I think labels got swapped somehow. So this just looks like a white bean, like a navy bean, or a Great Northern. It would be like you would find in a bean soup. But I think I can do something better with this. I'm actually going to put the beans on the potatoes. This was my original plan with what I thought was going to be like a vegetable stew. But I go with it anyway. So it's like potatoes and gravy, but beans in the gravy. I'll give this a try. Wow, I actually like that. It may look weird, but then I like weird. I think this combo actually tastes pretty good. Not what I expected, but I don't care. I still got 2 more of these mains, so who knows, maybe I swapped one. Or maybe it got swapped in the packing plant where this is packed, because I do not see any other vegetables in here. I have that kasha with mushrooms. There's Dan in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Now this is a Russian vegetarian meal with a few extra items that I added from my stash. But I like putting this with the potatoes that I took from... Actually, these potatoes actually came in this 24-hour ration. I have another packet of instant potatoes that came in that ration that I took the milk powder from. So this is making it almost like a soup. I think it's plenty of sea enough for my liking, but pepper probably would be good. I just chose not to bring any out. But I can still taste the onion and the garlic that are in the potatoes. Keep bumping this thing. Sorry about that. I got to readjust that. There we go. Got a piece of cracker I'm dunking in there, just for the heck of it. The cracker softens up pretty fast when you dunk it in this. But I still got strawberry jam, so I'll probably just switch off between putting jam on these bigger pieces and maybe dunking some of these smaller pieces in there. Yeah, I do have pepper. In fact, my last trip to Walmart, I bought some black pepper. But I have larger containers of the whole peppercorns plus the ground pepper in addition to what I have in my kitchen. Extra pepper because it could use a little bit of that. Yeah, mix that in. Most of the time, these Russian foods are seasoned just right, that you don't have to add anything to it, but let's see what this is like with the pepper. Yep, that did it. That definitely kicked the flip. Of course, what would make this even better would be if there was some beef or chicken. That would definitely make this even better. But as this is right now, I'm definitely going to enjoy eating this. Should see the dots of pepper in there now. I don't have the stuff yet to make tamales, and I have never attempted to make tamales. But I do love a good tamale. Well, there is Will just in time prepping. Have gone back to the Russian vegetarian 24-hour ration. And what I thought was going to be a vegetable stew that I would combine with the instant potatoes turned out to be navy beans. So I went with my original plan of putting the main on top of the potatoes and then mixing it in. And this is almost like a thick potato bean soup. And then to make it more of a complete meal, I got some strawberry jam to put on the crackers. Of course, I'm also dipping some crackers in here. I got a Tutti Frutti drink mix. That's from a British ORP. And then I have Canadian pears. And I have Russian tea. This is my favorite Ration tea, by the way. And this is the fig bar that was in this ration. I could eat these all the time. Ooh, wow, I bet those are awesome. I have had the homemade tamales before, but that was many years ago. And I'd love to have them again. I wonder how good it would be with using the blue corn masa. Because you can get the blue corn masa. I've seen it in the stores and also online. But I probably could get the stuff to make tamales from a local store here called La Patilla. But I would have to get a recipe, at least something that I can reference to be sure that I do them sort of correct. I mean, it would be fun to experiment with. I just grabbed this other piece of cracker with the strawberry jam on it. Like 2012 strawberry jam. It tastes good. It just doesn't look as red as it would if it were fresher. Oh, last time I had fry bread was a couple years ago at the Iowa YouTuber meetup, and we had venison tacos on the fry bread. That fry bread is so good, just eating it alone was a pleasure, and it was done in a cast iron skillet or a cast iron Dutch oven. Just putting some more jam on a piece of cracker. Yeah, we were definitely eating good that weekend. Keep bumping that thing. I apologize for all that shakiness, but I keep bumping my mount. But I gotta bend it in a certain way just to get the angle right. Oh yeah, we had I think a couple of different kinds of shredded cheese. We had a couple of different salsas to put on it, and some lettuce and tomato and sour cream. I don't remember what all we had, but oh boy, was that good. We were glamping that weekend because we were eating so good. And one couple brought probably like 10 pieces of cast iron cookware. I think they had 3 Dutch ovens, plus their lids. Then like 2 or 3 skillets and a couple of the big rectangular griddles that are bigger than this tray. And then they had the lid lifters. But what Apple does is they do cooking for reenactment groups. And so they have to use cast iron in order to have as authentic a setup as possible when they're doing their reenactment events. And they also did a chocolate cherry cake in the Dutch ovens. So imagine 2 of those Dutch ovens full of a chocolate cherry cake. Oh, I bet she. I follow a Polish cooking channel since I'm Polish. She uses a lot of, some traditional things plus a few modern twists. And some of the recipes that use pork, I could probably, if I had the right stuff, I could probably adapt them and then just change out the meat to beef. But I don't think I've ever watched Simply Mama. Maybe I'll have to check that one out later. But the Polish woman that I follow, she obviously says everything in English and translate the Polish words that she uses. That definitely is, it's fun to watch different channels, different cooking styles. They're like Middle Eastern ones. I should find some more of those. And, before the big nasty hit, I was eating all kinds of Middle Eastern foods at the mosque, especially during Ramadan or whenever there's a meal for a funeral or a wedding or a birth of a baby. Bliskavica, I would have to look that one up. I am not familiar with that word. But if it's the name of a food, I bet it's pretty good. And pierogi is obviously my favorite Polish food. And kielbasa. If I can find one that's not made with pork, I am all over that one. Ooh, lightning. Could that be a code word for something else? Just kidding. My ancestors came to this country in 1849. My Polish ancestors did. And so far, we have only had one Yezhinka reunion, and that was 1983 in a little town of Ashton, Nebraska. And we literally took over that town for the weekend. Latkes, that is a Jewish potato pancake. And those would be served at about this time because this is in Hanukkah. I never had an actual Jewish latke, but I have had potato pancakes like my mom used to make them, and we would have butter and sugar on them. That was the way we ate the potato pancakes. Oh, wow. Dan, do you follow the History Savior channel? He was just on a ship recently. And he was referencing a movie that featured a ship called the USS Indianapolis. And the ship that he was walking around in was actually used as the Indianapolis in that particular movie. So if you go to History Savior 1941, you can see that video of him and his buddy both dressed in period uniforms walking around this ship that they have set up to look as it did during the war. And they have mannequins stationed at various points. They have fake food in the kitchens and the galleys. They have a mannequin in a brig sail. They got mannequins dressed appropriately in the sick bay. But yeah, Dan, if you go check out History Savior 1941 and see his ship videos and the movie references that he was able to pull up, I think you'll really enjoy that. In fact, there was a plane on the flight deck that I think represents one of the planes that was either an escort for that particular plane that carried that type of weapon or something. Or maybe a replica of the actual plane that carried it. I wish, Chicago, I wish I knew more. I really do. But I do have a Polish dictionary. I don't have a Polish grammar book, which what I would like to have. Like what what a student might have in a class. I would love to have one of those. When I lived in Nebraska, when I was a lot younger, uh, we were actually not all that far from a Polish neighborhood. And my mother actually learned Polish before she learned English, even though she was born here in the U.S. and her mother was born here in the U.S. Yeah, they both learned Polish before learning English. So my generation, at least in our line of the family, was the first to not learn Polish before English. My mom married a guy who was not Polish, so that's why we didn't learn Polish first. But she used to talk a little bit of it with other relatives. But she forgot quite a bit of it, which is a shame. But we've lost so many relatives that she used to speak Polish to, or at least she could still understand it. Taking another bite of this fruit bar. But we used to get the different Polish sausages. You know, the one, not just one that's commonly called the kielbasa, but there, you know, just, you know, the Polish processors. There are several of those in Omaha. And she would, you know, and there are others who would make the homemade kishka and the kielbasa, other kielbasa, pierogi. And I don't remember if we ever had bigos when I was a kid, or if that's just something that was just not available to us. But my mom also made cabbage rolls with a tomato sauce, and those are really good. I'm just reading what James wrote, just posting up another bit of history about what happened during the 40s. Yeah, those vaccines are going first to hospital employees, nursing home employees, and nursing home residents or patients. And next week, the FDA is probably going to approve the Moderna version. The Pfizer one is being shipped out now. In fact, they started rolling out, I think Friday night. The trucks with the special packaging were rolling out of the factory Friday night, and they're to get to Alaska and Hawaii and Puerto Rico and the other territories, they would have to get flown out. Well, the probably 99% of nursing home residents are seniors. Although I do know of a few younger people who either live in nursing homes or have lived there, either as a permanent resident or a temporary, like transition, for rehab before going on to a different kind of housing. And one person that I know, she has actually been tested like 3 or 4 times, and she's quarantined twice. Or she was separated from her roommate for the duration of the quarantine period and then allowed to go back to living with her roommate. We all do, but that might not be a good idea to go with. If you have certain kinds of allergies, then you definitely do not want to get that shot. Like I know some people who would on here because they don't they probably don't even watch YouTube much, at least for well, that would depend on either management or local laws. If a new law is passed or an ordinance is passed for the city, that since I don't have a job, I don't have to worry about it. But for some that are friends with me on Facebook, have seen that I recently got accepted to be on a citizen advisory board for the Des Moines transit system. It's not a paid position, but we will have an input on service policies, service changes, as riders of the city buses. We have to be represented to let the management know that there are certain things that could be improved, and so they asked for people who would be interested in applying for a seat on this board, and or this advisory committee, and I got accepted. I, yeah, I have also known people, relatives who got really bad care in a nursing home. In fact, my, other relatives actually did more for him there than their staff did. And so eventually he was pulled out at home until he passed. And the one time that I went to visit, I was one of the family members who helped clean him up and get him into some clean clothes because the staff just did not do that. The hygiene there was seriously lacking at that time. But there are other facilities who have done really, really good. And my maternal grandmother spent time in one after she got diagnosed with her bone cancer. And she'd done some rehab there before moving back in with my parents. But that was not a permanent thing. That was just a rehab stint in and that particular one did really, really good. It's my heater kicking on. I hope that's not too loud. I actually have it set at 64. So it will stay on for a few minutes and then kick back off. Here in Iowa, we have a high positivity rate in a lot of our residential care facilities, like nursing homes, group homes, other inpatient rehab facilities. And in our prisons and jails, there is a lot of spread. Yep, I just ate a piece of cracker again. I'm going to dip it in here again. These crackers would be good for just dropping in soup. In fact, I have a soup packet that I'm going to use in another one of these meals that I'm going to, I have one pack of these that's worse as far as being busted up. I'm going to save that one for when I do that particular meal. And pair it with one of the other mains like this one, and I'm hoping that it's not just a tin of beans. Although these are good, but I think mixing them in with the potatoes and definitely improved both. I'll go for more of my tutti frutti. Let's see, next week will be a meal with meat because I'm going to be going to the Minotaur Arctic field ration with the Arizona chili. That one I think is going to be a good one. I have heard good things about that particular one. That is also one of the mains in the Titan ration that I got. Oh, the Norwegian chili con carne. That is one of my favorite Norwegian rations. But I am definitely looking forward to the Arizona chili that Minotaur has come up with. It's a specific recipe. I have not opened that box to look at it yet, but I'm definitely interested in it. There are other reviews on it, so other reviewers have done the Arizona chili one, and it looked really, really good. Thanks for dropping in, Art, and hopefully Nina, if she's sitting there watching. Again, thanks for dropping that super chat and for the $50 prize in the mystery box. I used that to add to my non-food prep, so I'm good on some stuff that I wanted to get. And do check out the Foreign Emery site. I got a USMRE. I got a DAF ration in addition to the mystery box. So those are in the lineup for review. Of course, they will not happen until next year because I got stuff that will keep me going through the rest of this month. So the 20th. So next Sunday, I'm going for that Norwegian, or not Norwegian, but the Minotaur Arctic field ration with the Arizona chili. And then after that, I will be doing a 2012 vegetarian emery that I got from Aletha, who lives in eastern Iowa. She comes to Des Moines every so often because of some stuff that has to get done here, which I will leave at that. I won't go into that, but she had I think both Case A and Case B of 2012, and the menus that she and her husband Jay are not cool with. She has given to me like the chicken with tomato and feta. I enjoyed that one. That one was good. Of course, the feta was completely melted into the sauce, so you could not distinguish any actual bits of the cheese. It was part of the sauce, which kind of gave it its lighter color. And then after that one, I will go to the Titan ration, and I will pull out one of the mains, and that one is the Arizona chili, so I will pull out the other main that's in there. And then that Arizona chili I may have a little fun with doing something a little different when I go back to that. And of course, when I get my money for January, I'll place some orders. And speaking of miniature, if you watch Bob's most recent video on the Ration channel, he says that everything is going to be revamped and all current inventory is just going to be put into mystery boxes. And a whole bunch of new stuff is going to be coming out. So I think it's going to be interesting what he's coming up with. I mean, he's done some good stuff so far that I've really enjoyed, and I think we all have. But if there are any of those mystery boxes left, I may get one of those. But I'll just keep dropping orders, and I may go elsewhere too. Like some places that I get foreign rations from, I stopped saying where I got them from because I don't want to get the seller into any kind of trouble, or me for that matter, if it comes to me unadulterated by customs. But so far, I haven't had any packages raided. And I hope it stays that way. Have a drink of my tea. I'm also going to collect stuff for doing some more ration mashups. I suppose you could call this a mashup because I added American jam, a British drink, Canadian pears. But I'm going to collect stuff. I think the mystery boxes are my best bet for getting all kinds of stuff. And allmres.com has had mystery boxes. But if those are still available, I might order one of those too. Because according to their site, they have foreign stuff in their mystery boxes, so I like to get more foreign stuff so I can really mix it up. But these Canadian pears are good. Just adding more jam to a piece of cracker. I'm also going to be throwing in some other videos that I'm thinking of doing for just recipes that I've come up with, like I did for that fruit mix that I made for Thanksgiving. I took to my the house that two of my sisters shared together, and everybody liked that. And I'm going to do something with some beans that I have in my kitchen that I want to rotate out. Now they're 2019 cans. So I have an idea for those. So I will do a video on that. I guess you could call it a pantry clean out, even though I actually don't have a pantry. If I didn't have other stuff in my storage closet, I could put shelves in there and make that into a pantry, but that's right next to my bathroom. And so there's heat and humidity that come up that wall, or down from above, if there's anyone in the apartment above me, which there's not. And the apartment below me is vacant, but there are workers in there, so but when I had people above and below me, there would be a lot more heat and humidity. I only store stuff in there that does not get affected by heat or humidity all that much, except for like boxes of Kleenex. I put those inside Ziploc bags, and I make sure that the toilet paper that I store in there is completely sealed up. And my cat is meowing. She walked away. I don't know if you heard her, but that was Mila. Most of the time she is sleeping when I'm doing these streams. I'm also going to do a video on the chicken chunks that come out of rations. I have 2 pouches of those. So one of those I'm going to do a little something with that I think might be interesting. It's a flavor combo that I personally have not had, but I want to try it. because I think it'll be a good way to use certain bits that I have in my fridge. And I just want to see how well that works. I'm just finishing off the jam. I haven't decided if I'm going to do this on video. I think it'll be a bit difficult since I really don't have any way of editing my videos other than that my movie app that I have on my phone. Sometimes those videos are successful uploads to YouTube, sometimes they're not. Mila, what are you yelling about? I'm gonna take you down, Sue. Mila, what are you yelling about? You hear her? That's Mila. Mila, what you want? I think she just likes to hear herself talk. Oh, she just had her food. Good. I don't give her any quote-unquote people food. I think one time I gave her a little bit of a can of tuna, and that was it. But just a little bit. Well, she's really not her idea of cuddling is when I'm in bed, she gets under the covers and she curls up at my knees. And that's it. And that's only at night. She's really not a cuddler. She just likes to hear herself talk sometimes. No, there's no new cat. There are only one or two other people on my floor, and no animals on my floor. Right now my building is maybe 1/5 occupied, if even that. So after this management company took over in April, and a lot of people got kicked out. The troublemakers did. Those who weren't keeping up with their rent were kicked out. And they didn't fill those apartments. They just started renovating them. And they gutted the laundry room, so we don't have it's been almost a year since we've had a laundry room, and with more bad weather coming, it's going to be a little more difficult going to a laundromat by bus. That's what I do. I put my laundry in a suitcase. My suitcases have wheels so I can pull them. And I have a Ziploc bag that I keep dryer sheets in. I got a coin tube with my quarters in it. And I got another Ziploc bag with my laundry detergent. I don't use liquid. I use either the pod things or the packs, or I have these laundry balls that have detergent pellets inside it, and I just keep reusing those until they run out. The little pellets dissolve enough where they fall through the slits in the plastic balls, and that's when I know it's time to ditch those. But I'm stocked up on the laundry detergent. I do have 2 jugs of the liquid, and I would use that for hand washing my clothes if I had to resort to that. I do have some items that I need to hand wash, but those are more for summer items. And the items that need dry cleaning, I use the sheets that I can buy to put in a bag, and then I just stick that in the dryer and run a cycle in the dryer, and that's how I do my dry cleaning. Yep, I have a bag of the Armor and Hammer pod things. Then I have a jug of the all ones. So I'm pretty stocked up on laundry detergent for a while. So if I do have to resort to hand washing my laundry, I can do that because I have a big bucket that I use mostly as a storage bucket for some items in my bathroom. I keep my extra toothpaste and toothbrushes in there. I got my cleaning rags in there. I got a few other items in there that I like to keep spares of. And then if I need to hand wash larger items or more items, I just dump all that stuff out. And then it's like a 10-gallon bucket that actually collected from the side of the road, along with a bunch of other stuff that someone had just left. And I had it in my old place that I was living in before I came here, and I used it as a tote to carry stuff here, and I just use it as a storage bucket, and it works out great. So I have done hand laundry in that bucket a few times already, so that definitely was a great find. Checking that chat. Now that would be another way to do it if I was doing a larger amount, but for what I've done so far, the bucket works, and I can hang stuff on my shower rod. And I recovered a shoe rack that was in I called the former laundry room that someone had put in there. People used to put items in there that they don't want. Basically free for anyone else to take, so I lifted that thing. So I have used that as a drying rack. And after my last camping trip with a tent, I put my tent out over that thing to dry it out after I got home. So it works for that too. Since I don't have a yard, the only way I could put a clothesline up is if I tied a rope across my deck from one end to the other. But if that's what I got to do, that's what I'll do. But in the winter, I would just hang stuff on my shower rod. Because I would only wash enough that I could hang on there without having to throw everything else everywhere else, and that not dry very well. And just looking at the time, 1 hour and 40 minutes. See, that's pretty good. Now these bits of cracker will not go to waste. I'll nibble on them. But I think I'm going to go ahead and call this one good, so I can get my mess cleaned up. So I won't have anything to clean up tomorrow when I get my turkey quarter out of the fridge that I've been thawing out in there. Someone gave me 2 turkey quarters, and I'm going to stick it in my crock pot with some veggies. And I'm going to use that turkey stock that I bought at Walmart earlier this month, along with that celery and the multicolored carrots that I got. I already have potatoes and onions, so I'm going to be cutting some of them up and throw them in there, plus some herbs. I don't know what I'm going to throw in there. I'm just going to open up the cabinet and just wing it, which is how I do it anyway. But yep, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out for now. I do want to thank you all for watching, and next Sunday, 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time, I'm going to go for that Arizona Chili Arctic Field Ration from Minotaur Trading Company. Same place where I got that mug. So do come back for that. And also Ration Museum every Sunday at 5 Eastern, 4 Central. Do show up for that. That's always some good stuff that Sean has. And he sure had an interesting one today. So, and thanks all for watching, and catch you on the flip side.